What's going on, Jab Jab Talk Nation? It's your boy Ozeal coming to you live from the park. Actually, just wrapped up a walk, and I just wanted to step aside and record this video since I haven't had a chance to record this. So I just wanted to share my thoughts on the Benavidez Andrade fight last night. And first off, what a way to close out Showtime boxing with a fight like what we saw last night with Andrade and Benavidez. And the full card was amazing. It was good. It was entertaining. It was good card. Great way to close out boxing in 2023. And I know there's going to be much more in 2024 because we saw a lot of boxing, a lot of great fights this year. All right, so let's get to the Benavidez Andrade fight. My thoughts. My prediction was that Benavidez was going to finish Andrade in the 10th round. I mean, I don't think nobody expected, maybe some, expected Benavidez to dominate Andrade like that and close it out, with before 10 rounds, before, some people were saying that it was going to be a 12-round decision, and we didn't see that at all. Benavidez was too strong. He was, he just dominated. He just looked strong, Andrade, he had some moments in the beginning where I was like, okay, Andrade, all right. Fearless. He came in there, and just wanted to make a statement. And I think what's really amazing about Benavidez is that he's a guy that he could just tag you with one solid punch and it'll change your whole game plan. He did it with Plant. When Plant had some early success, but little by little, Benavidez was tagging him, and you could tell, like, Caleb Plant got on his bike. He was not willing to mix it up with Benavidez. And we saw Andrade do it the same. He was very, bold and looked good and flashy and awkward and was moving, and he had some good shots. But Benavidez tagged him, went to the body, and started changing the game around. And I think that was the thing that really made this fight in favor of Benavidez. So it was a great fight. Benavidez, man, he's the truth. I've always been a Benavidez fan. I like everything about Benavidez. I like the way he carries himself, the way he speaks. He's very articulate. He fights. He has different styles of fighting. He has his style, right? But he fights different styles. Like, you can see him having success with, boxer punchers and brawlers and slick, awkward fighters like what we saw with Andrade. And all the critics were saying, well, he's flat-footed, and I know, it upsets Benavidez because I think he has like a chip on his shoulder. He has a lot to prove, but he keeps on dominating his opponents. So I really think that he is the top dog at 168. Of course, we can't negate the fact that, Canelo is the man. He is the king at 168, and until that fight happens, we won't know where, who the true king is. But I think Benavidez has definitely made a statement, and he has proved that he is the man to beat at 168. And I don't see Canelo, unless he decides to just go ahead and take the retirement route and just say, hey, I'm going to close it out with two, fights, easy fights, and close it out. Much like, Mayweather. Mayweather, I think Alberto and fought fighters that weren't really at his caliber. When he could have fought, some of the young dogs. But he didn't want that, At that time, we had Crawford early on and Thurman, and there were some pretty good competitive fights for him, but he didn't go that route. And I'm thinking that maybe Canelo may be going that way. Who knows? But I think for sure Benavidez proved last night that he is the man, and he's the man to beat. And I think if there's anybody who can give Canelo some problems, it'll be a Benavidez, simply because I think he can crack, and he's a big guy at 168. And, Canelo has wiped out. Let's give credit to Canelo. I'm a big Canelo fan. He's beaten all the champions at 168 that were at 168. Remember, he moved up. So, that's that. But I do feel like Benavidez is a big boy, and he just brings in a whole different level of just firepower, So, we'll see what happens. I think Andrade will. Not sure what's going to happen with him. Obviously, he has a lot of boxing in him. I think hopefully, I would love to see him against a Charlo. I would like to see him against a Plant. I think there's a lot of great fights that could be made outside the Benavidez and Canelo fight. But, Andrade was there. It was game in the beginning, but Benavidez is smart, man. Benavidez knows how to adjust and went to the body and just made Andrade think differently about trying to really go toe-to-toe against Benavidez. And I guess we were all thinking that Andrade could box for 12 rounds, but I think I heard some commentary say, you know, you got to box him 12 rounds, but be smart and not get hit. So it will take a really, really like A-level boxer with some firepower to compete with Benavidez, and that's the truth. But anyhow, great fight. Benavidez looked amazing. Proved that he truly is the Mexican monster. Now we'll see what happens next. If we're gonna see a fight with him and Canelo. I do see that you know, he is, and he's always been like this. Benavidez said, you know, in the post interview, he said, hey, if Canelo don't want to smoke, I'm gonna go and fight Bivol at 175 and go up in weight. So again, he has that Canelo mindset where he's not going to wait for everybody, right? He's not going to wait for anybody. He's not going to wait for Canelo. You know, if Canelo wants it, it's there. Obviously, the crowd wants it, but you know, he's on his own path, and I think that's what defines greatness. Is whenever you're not waiting on somebody to give you permission or give you the fight to define who you are as a fighter. And I think Benavidez possesses that same mentality that Canelo does. Canelo and Mayweather is just a Pacquiao. They fight whoever, and if you're lucky enough to get a fight with them, then you get it. But they are, you know, the commander of the ship, and I think Benavidez has that mindset where everybody was calling out Canelo and waiting for Canelo and big Canelo sweepstakes, and Benavidez just did his own thing. It was like, if it comes down to it, if it's my time to fight him, then I will. And I think yesterday proved again that he is at 168. It's kind of like that Pacquiao Mayweather when it was prime time for them to fight, and that fight didn't happen. I hope that we don't see that. I don't think Canelo is that guy. I think the pressure will be on, and I think Canelo will be up for a challenge, because also Canelo wants to prove something. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I would love to see Canelo and Benavidez in May. There's talks that Canelo may fight Munguia in May. If that happens, maybe May, and then he fights David in September. I mean, talk about two big Mexican Independence fight days for Canelo, and man, those will be wars. Although I think he'll sweep Munguia in a couple rounds. I don't think that fight is even competitive. But yeah, let's see that Benavidez fight for sure. So that's my take. Benavidez, spectacular, looked amazing. Andrade had his moments. He has a dog in him. He could fight, but I mean, he's back to the drawing board and see what other fights we can see with him. All right, guys, I gotta go. Walked already like 2 miles, ready for the run. Let's go. All right, thanks for watching. Peace.